So starting last week, I had a request from someone, and she emailed me just out of the blue, I think last Sunday, and she goes, I want to learn systems. I go, okay, we can work on some systems. What exactly is it you're looking for? I said, are you looking for a marketing system, phone call procedures, path to black belt, first 100 days? She goes, yes. I go, okay, well, I got a good idea. It's the beginning of the year. It would be really neat to just review all types of systems. So I started last week. We started with the path to black belt. And today we're going to talk about the first 100 days. So after a student gets started in your school, how can we treat them so their experience exceeds their expectations? So now we're going to just do a good job. We're going to go above and beyond. The whole idea is if I can keep someone that first 90 days, okay, now they're starting a new habit. They're going to get involved in my program. They're going to stay with the program. I'm going to upgrade them to different programs. So we're off to a great start. But it takes a couple months to get that done. So that's our topic today. And let me share my screen. So let me get it. So the first 100 days, keeping your students your students. So after someone signs up, there's still a lot to do. Just because we signed someone up on a 6-month program doesn't mean they're going to take a 6-month program unless we do our job. If they're overwhelmed when they first get started, if they think they're just a number, you first got in there, you're talking to them about all the benefits of martial arts, and then you don't remember their name in 3 weeks, they may not be too happy with your service. If they don't feel like they're belonging and they're not making friends in your school and attending events, well, they're missing that whole social aspect. So we want to make the new student and family feel welcome and reassure them that they made a great decision. Buyer's remorse sets in anytime someone buys anything. When they sign up for martial arts, especially if they finance your program and they give you a small deposit, they're paying monthly payments. They're thinking about, man, these monthly payments are going to start adding up with other things. And so they start getting buyer's remorse and they start thinking about quitting before they even really get started. So we're going to try to take care of that, again, by exceeding their expectations when they first get started. One of the things that we can do is when someone signs up, make sure we have a checklist. And we're going to go over these checklists, and it's just reviewing, making sure that we talked about all the things they're going to be involved with in martial arts. So they're going to be billed monthly. We do that. That they need a uniform for class. That there's when they decide to come here, your closed major holidays. That there's a fee for testing. So you're going to give them a whole checklist. And it's really important to talk about the negatives right at the enrollment, because this is when they're most excited. So if you have things that you perceive as negatives, maybe you need testing fees, you justify your testing fees, but you think some people are going to find that a little negative, well, the best time to talk about it is right after enrollment. So we're going to go over all these. Again, they're excited at our program at the time, so it's a really good time to have a good checklist. Next thing is to have a new student handbook. New student handbook is what to really expect. If you're going to give someone an orientation class on your school, that'd be like getting a new student handbook. One of the things a new student handbook could be your student creed. So if you're memorizing a student creed, have it in the handbook. How to get to the next belt. So we say that requirements for the next belt are 2 classes a week, solid class attendance. They have to memorize the curriculum. They're going to be performing stripe tests. They have to learn the life skills. And this is how they get a next belt. This is the order of our belts. If you're going to miss class or any length of time in the summertime, make sure you contact instructor and you tell them when you're going to leave for vacation and when you're coming back. So any information that you want the student to learn. So, they're not going to ask you all the questions. So these would be like what you considered the most commonly asked questions and the most important thing. For instance, if your class starts at 4 o'clock, what does 4 o'clock mean to you? Does that mean you want your student there 5 minutes early, in uniform, ready to go? Or does it mean that you want the kids to come in and at 4 o'clock everyone starts arriving and we line up? So got to tell people what you expect. So I want to make sure parents know that the kids should get there 5 to 10 minutes before class. Sit in, this is where they put their shoes. They put their belts on, and then they're going to sit on the mat. It's really important that parents pick their kids up within 10 minutes after class. We have a very busy school. I can't be responsible for who walks in and out of my door all the time, so parents have to be there within 10 minutes after class. So your new student handbook is the rules, regulations, what to expect out of the program. You may want to have fitness ideas in this. In addition to your martial arts, we'd like to do some strength training or some running. Running is a good supplement to your training. We might want to say if you're here in martial arts and your whole idea is to lose weight, these are some diet ideas to go along with the program. This is kind of neat. It's really important that when students leave your office after enrollment, they have something in their hands. So when they go home, it's just like when you buy a new car and you're looking at the manual for your new car, your new students are going through their new student handbook and they're saying, wow, there's a lot more to this school than I originally thought. Make sure that students are assigned days and classes. This is probably one of the most important things for attendance and for retention. And people don't think it's important. They say, these are classes, pick 2 you want to come out. It doesn't have to be the same day. This is a schedule, come to 2 classes a week. Unless people get used to a schedule, they're not going to make their classes. It's just like if you're going to the gym, you have an open gym membership. The best day to start a gym membership is always tomorrow. And so very rarely get off and start doing it on a regular basis. If I know that my child's taking martial arts class on 4 o'clock Tuesday and 4 o'clock Thursday, I'm going to rearrange my schedule so those times are free. I'm going to make those days. If I can't make those days, I'm going to call and tell the instructor I'm not going to be there. If the class starts and students aren't here, and now the program director or front end office person can call people and say, hey, we miss you. Class just started. We see you're not here. So that's really important. Probably one of the key things for having good retention. When you sign the people up, make sure you sign a progress check appointment. This is a black belt school. At some point in time, we're going to be talking about our black belt training course, which is our leadership course. Again, you're just starting in the program. We'll be doing this approximately 3 weeks into the program or 3 months into the program, whenever you do it, and set your progress check. And then make sure you have a reminder for that. So right off the bat, they know that they're going to be talked to, a month down the road. During this time, you're going to go over the progress. We're going to see if black belt training makes sense at that time. So make sure you make an appointment. I always like to give some free stuff. And I first felt this when I bought a Lexus, and this was a lot of years ago. I got delivery of the car. They told me all about the car. I go in there, I talk to the person, I pay for it. I get my keys, I get into the car, and in the passenger seat, there's a box of chocolates. Well, he didn't try to say, hey, if you buy the car today, I'm going to give you a box of chocolates. It was something above and beyond. I didn't expect this. He didn't mention it. I got in the car, and there's a gift for me. So I really like to have things to give away after they sign. So it's not a condition for signing. It's just something you're going to do above and beyond. One thing is Parents Night Out tickets. If you charge for Parents Night Out, what you're going to do is after you do the enrollment and you go into the front desk and say, hey, I'd like to have you meet John at the front desk. Hey, John, can you do me a favor? Can you give me 2 passes for Parents Night Out? Now, David, I'd really like to have you come to Parents Night Out. This is one of the social events. And talk to parents. Part of the martial arts school, part of the glue that keeps your kids active is the social aspect in our school. So I'm going to give David 2 tickets. David, I really want you to bring your best friend. What's your best friend's name? Jimmy? Okay, so bring Jimmy. Parents Night Out is this time. And again, these are guest passes. There's no charge. I also like to give a VIP guest pass to my brand new student. A VIP guest pass allows them to bring a friend and train for an entire month. We find that our students really do, and this is not just scripted, our students really do enjoy class when they have a friend to train with, because it's not all just strangers. They bring a buddy there, they enjoy the class. Their buddy's probably going to enjoy the class too, and you're most likely to get a new student out of this. So they're getting the 2 Parent Night Out classes, and they're getting their VIP pass. Last thing I like to do is give a t-shirt away. So it could be to the parent, Mrs. Smith, you look like about a medium. Yeah. Hey, John behind the counter, can I have a free t-shirt? I'd like to give it to Mrs. Smith. So now they've got stuff in their hands. It doesn't cost me a lot. It doesn't cost me anything for the Parents Night Out. It doesn't cost me anything for the VIP pass. It cost me maybe $9 for the t-shirt, but I've got above and beyond. They're carrying away stuff that they didn't expect. So put that on your, it's not the first 100 days, that's actually the first day. Next thing for our first 100 days is phase 1 philosophy. We want our students to succeed. If people are doing well in class, they're going to be enjoying the class. If they're enjoying the class, they're going to come more. If they come more, they're going to have progress. They're going to have more fun because now they're learning more, and it goes on and on and on. So if we make all of a sudden the first couple months too much memorization, too much hard curriculum, they feel like failures instead of success. If it's not fun doing it, I don't feel like I'm good at it, I'm going to quit. So we've got to make sure that the original curriculum that they're first starting off with is successful. We want them to make sure they feel welcome. So I'm going to know their name. This is one of the reasons I like the person who does an intro class. If you have a program director, I like that person to help with the beginner class because the student has already built rapport with this person, so they feel more welcome when they come to class. They're not just passed off to an instructor that I don't know. Make sure you memorize students' names. You know, I've watched classes and I've seen people that are yellow belts and green belts and brown belts, and the instructor goes, "Hey, big guy, come over here." You know, I know you have 200 students, but it's still important to know everyone's name. So we want to make sure that they feel welcome and we know everyone's name, even the parents' names. Make sure that if they're not bringing a buddy to class on the VIP, that you introduce them to another student. So when they come to class, they have a friend. So if it's David's first class, I'm going to bring him over to Stephen and you say, "Hey guys, Stephen, this is David. It's David's first class. I want you guys to buddy up today. I want you to be partners. Shake hands and again, tell each other their name." So make sure they have a friend when they start. Make sure they know what to expect. You know, when you come to class, this is where you're going to put your gear. If you're in class and you need a drink of water, you can just bow out of the mat, get a drink of water, whatever they expect. You know, we're going to be doing a workout and then we're going to do a MAC chat. But it's really important, especially for the kids, that they feel comfortable in class. They want to know what's next. And then again, we want to keep building this relationship. One of the things I'm going to be talking about is PG 1, 2, and 3. Well, the idea of PG 1, 2, or 3, they're actually scheduled mini talks you're going to have with the parents or for the students. And so over the next 90 days, you're going to keep building the relationship with these talks. So not really sales talks, it's a trust building talk. I want to build a relationship, but more importantly, I want them to be assured that they can trust me, trust the other members of the school, and trust the whole experience. A couple things, you can either do this longhand. Since you're all Rainmaker clients, I think it's really important that you build your flows. A lot of these things I'm going to be talking about, you only have to create once in Rainmaker, and then when you sign up a new student, it's automatically going to happen. There's other people I know listening to this, they want to have some type of flow, but they also want to have some type of personal attention. So you can do these as automatic emails, you can do this as automatic text, you can do this as automatic postcard, or you can assign a task for one of your members. So if I want to make sure that everyone in the school gets a thank you note from the owner of the school, I can set that as a task. So after someone signs up, within 4 days, the owner's going to get a task, and that is to send a thank you note to Jimmy. So in your flow, you're going to have a thank you note. It's also going to be a welcome letter. We have some of these letters in the written correspondence section of the vault. So if you're a Rainmaker client, you have access to the vault. On the last page of the vault, there is written correspondence. You'll find some of these things. The welcome letter is just thanking them for choosing your school. When they're looking for a martial arts school, there's other choices. We want to assure them that they made the right choice in joining East West Karate. We value that relationship. So it's not just welcome, have a good time, but we're sharing the philosophy and assuring them that they did make the right choice. And if they have any questions, I have an open door policy and they can just come to my door at any time. Assign your PGs. There's 3 PGs, PG1. PG1 is basically where we're talking to the parents and we're telling the parents that when you watch your kid in class, you're going to notice that our instructors are good finders. What I mean by that is the most important thing is building the confidence of kids. So you're going to see our instructors finding your kids doing something good. They're going to compliment them. They're going to give them a pat on the back, but they want to become good finders. And one other thing I just want to caution you, a lot of times when we're watching our children in class, we start comparing them to other kids in class. You go, wow, my kid's not that good. This kid's so much better. Just got to remember, kids in this class have been taking up to 6 months. So don't watch your child and compare him to someone else. Watch your child and become a good finder on his improvements. It really helps if we team up and we're building the confidence at the same time. You're doing the same thing at home. So that's PG1. I'm trying to teach the parents how to think. I don't want to start talking to this parents 3 months down the line and saying, I think your child should go into Black Belt Club. And all of a sudden the parent goes, my child's not that good. There's other kids in class better. Well, we took care of that on PG1. We're not comparing your child to anyone else. Your child is your child, and we're worried about his growth. PG2 happens a month later. PG2 is we're actually telling the parents there's going to be times that your kid wants to quit. We don't want the parents to freak out the first time the kid says, I don't want to go to karate. So we're talking to the parent, and we're just building a little rapport and go, is your child really enjoying coming to class? Yeah, he loves it here. He just jumps in the car. I just want to kind of pre-warn you that it's not always going to be like that. Something's going to happen in your child's life. He may have a play date with a friend. Something may be special on TV. He may have a lot of homework. He may just not feel well that day, and he's going to go, I don't want to go. That's okay. That happens. The important thing is that when that happens, we always team up. We never give up on David. You have some big goals for David, and that self-confidence and self-esteem is going to take a little while. So if you see this happening and all of a sudden he says, I don't want to go, I've dealt with that hundreds of times over my career. Just make sure we team up. Tell me about it, and we'll take care of it, and we'll get him back on track. Because when we talk to this parent now in 3 months, and we're saying we're asking for a 24-month commitment, we don't want a parent to say, well, sometimes he doesn't want to go. I'm afraid he's going to want to quit. Well, we already told the parent that that's going to happen. And we know that not everyone's at a level 10 through the whole years of training. There are dips, but if we team up and don't give up, we're going to get David through to his black belt. PG3, we're going to sign for 2 weeks after that. And PG3 is just our lead-in to talk about black belt training. We're talking to the parent again. I said, I'm just curious, have you and David talked about setting the goal for black belt? Now, if they say yes or they say no, I'm going to suggest we have a meeting. If they say yes, we've been talking about it, go, hey, I'd like to hear more. Do you have 10 minutes to spend after class today, or would next week be better? I'd just like to find out what you're discussing about black belt. If they say, no, we haven't talked about that yet, I go, well, I think it's something we should talk about pretty soon. David's doing really good in class. If you have 10 minutes today or 10 minutes next week, I'd really like to explain the whole black belt experience. So with the PGs, I suggest you don't automate those because it wants to be a trust. I was listening to Paul Garcia a while back. He was talking about building trust, and I was talking about Rainmaker and the importance of doing things automated. And he was also saying that he read scientific evidence that if you and I are face-to-face, belly-to-belly, and we're talking, that's the way trust is really built. It's really hard to build trust over recording. It's really hard to do and build trust over an email. So when we do the PGs, those are in person. Also going to remind the parents of the VIP class. The VIP class is a very involved parents class. I suggest this for the 3rd week of the month. Everyone who signs up since the last VIP class gets to come in, and these adults are trying our adult class. And we're just inviting that in. Hey, we have parents. We have very involved parents that like to watch class. We have very involved parents that, volunteer. And we have very involved parents that really enjoy classes. So we'd like to invite you in, try one of our adult classes. At the same time, we're going to review some coaching methods. So I'm going to teach you how to hold pads for your kids. So when you're training with them at home, maybe they're kicking for 5 minutes a day, they get some good drills, and you can assist them with the pad holding. The whole idea about the VIP class is to get the parents on the floor. And what I'm looking for that parent that's got that grin ear to ear. They're loving this. They may have thought of bringing their kid to martial arts, but they're loving this VIP class. And I'm not going to sell. I'm just going to go up to the parent and go, it looks like you're really enjoying this. Yeah, it is a lot of fun. I think I really like it. Hey, want you to be my guest for the rest of the month. Take classes. This is our schedule for adult classes. If you really like it, after a couple of weeks, we can sit down and we can talk about family memberships. So again, the whole idea is to educate the parent on the program, have them try it, have them learn how to coach their kids and how they're practicing with their kids, give them experience, and then just invite them to try the remainder of the month. When a student first signs up, part of your flow should be a video on how to tie your belt. That's the hardest thing for a lot of people. So we do this. You can even tie this in, how to tie your video or how to tie your belt video into your welcome letter. So they just click on this. It's just instruction how to tie the belt yourself. And if you're a parent with a child, how to tie the belt around your child. Another thing for Rainmaker, they say have another video, how to take care of your equipment package. So if you have an equipment package, you don't want people's gear to get smelly, so they're not going to keep it locked up all the time. You can tell them how to disinfect it. And then you say, if you haven't bought your equipment package yet, you can do that now and just have them click to a profit generator. So that's a real nice welcome letter. You got the welcome letter, how to tie your white belt with the instructor, and then how to take care of your equipment. And then if you didn't get the equipment, you can order it now. It'll be ready when you come in for your next class. Next thing is we want to get people on cycle. Most people who are doing any type of rotating curriculum are testing four times a year. They're doing it March, June, September, and December. Those are the months for testing. So when you get someone coming in, and they're coming in maybe in February, well, March is the test cycle. And you go, well, what's they going to be able to do in 4 to 6 weeks to get your yellow belt? It's really important that we get them on the cycle. I don't want to have someone come in 4 weeks and then miss that test cycle and then have another 3 months. I mean, that's 4 months before they get your yellow belt. I like to have it a little faster. To me, yellow belt isn't all about physical activities. So they really don't have to memorize 15 self-defense techniques in a form. Yellow belt are just getting started off. It's really important they master the protocol. So the requirements of yellow belt should be mastering the protocol. The punches, the kicks, and everything they're doing is extra. But they know how to bow. They know how to say yes sir, no sir. They know how to, ask politely. They know that if they're going to leave the mat, that they have to bow out and they have to bow in on the mat or in on the mat. So that's mastering protocol. It's also important that for yellow belt, they have consistent attendance. So they could be there 4 weeks, but if they've been there 2 times a week for 4 weeks, now they're getting in a pattern. So I want to make one of the qualifications for the belt is good attendance. Black belt excellent sheets, so you can get a lot done in 4 weeks. So I'd really make sure that to keep people long-term, that we make the first belt, I don't want to say easy because I don't want to think you're giving belts away. In fact, I think if it's protocol, you're getting exactly what you want. I don't know how good a kid's going to learn how to kick and punch in the first couple months. Now, I'm sure it's going to be pretty good. But if I have the protocol nailed down and I have attendance nailed down, I've got the discipline nailed down, okay, that's what I want my yellow belt to have. Just a checklist for you and your staff. This would be just a good thing to talk with your white belt instructor. Make sure that we welcome the new student at the beginning of class. You've probably seen me do this at Instructor College. I bring David up. I go, hey guys, I want everyone to meet David. David's a new student. Say hi, David. David says hi to everyone. I go, David, what's your favorite thing to do? He goes, video games. I go, no, David, it's karate. Say karate. He says karate. All the parents start giggling. I go, David, what's your favorite food? He goes, pizza. I go, who else likes pizza? The kids raise their hand. I go, man, David, you got a lot of people in common with these kids in class. Who likes pepperoni? So the whole idea is to make a fun way to introduce the student. But I'm really looking for that parent looking at the instructor go, wow, this guy is really, really good with kids. He knows it's important for my kid to feel comfortable. He's really good with kids. At the same time, I know I'm nervous doing things for New Time. I started bowling a couple years ago. I remember my first time meeting my team and everything. You're just nervous. So as an adult, you're nervous. The kids are nervous. So we make them feel welcome. We'll make sure that we congratulate them at the end of class. Hey, we're going to bow today. David, I just want to point out, this was your second class. You did awesome, buddy. Everyone high five David before he leaves. During the first 3 months, I got noise in the background. I just gotta find who that is. I really want to become a master of body language, and I want my instructors to become a master of body language. If I have a student there and we're bowing in and his shoulders rounded, he's looking down, I mean, I can tell how he feels. I mean, I don't have to have him take the whole class. If there's something going on, I'm going to pull him off the mat, talk to him. If all of a sudden we're doing push-ups and there's not any effort in that, it's body language. Something's going around here. So make sure that your instructors become experts in watching body language. I was at a Chris Gates school in New York one time, and I'm watching a brown belt going through her moves, and we're actually doing push-ups, and I could see a little effort, and I go, Chris, I said, he wasn't running class. I go, come here. I go, see that kid right over there? That's going to be an ex-student after this class. The most important thing you can do right now is pull that parent in, pull the kid off the mat, go in the office and find out what's going on. And he did and was able to save that student. You can learn a lot by body language. Immediately unlock character. And when we say this, I mean immediately lock out that the student is trying his hardest. He's doing his best. I've got good effort. I'm becoming a good finder, not just in punching, blocking, kicking, but all of a sudden I go, David, I just got to tell you, you're one of the most polite kids I've had in the school in a long time. I love the way you focus and make good eye contact. Well, I'm not only becoming a good finder in martial arts, I'm becoming a good finder in character. And again, one of the best things you can do for the first 100 days is to monitor attendance. If people are coming twice a week, twice a week, twice a week, twice a week, once a week, you know, what happened where they just dropped attendance? And all of a sudden, it's twice a week, then once a week. Well, we've got a problem. You know, that they're not following the order, they're not going to be passing their test. So monitoring attendance is really, really important. I like to be able to call people if I haven't seen them by Wednesday. I'm going to make some type of contact. I mean, you can do this as a flow in Rainmaker, or you just know that, hey, these students are coming all this time, having really good attendance. Wednesday, all of a sudden, I haven't seen this guy all week. I'm going to make sure I contact them right away. If I haven't seen anyone for a solid 7 days, they're going to get an automated text message from Rainmaker, and I'm going to make sure that one of the instructors is calling them and making sure everything's all right. Last thing is, the whole idea with this 90 days is to keep the students. At the same time, we're preparing for leadership. So we want to make sure that everyone passes your yellow belt test. For my leadership program, you're on a 6-month program. That's your basic or a welcome program. You can go to leadership once you get your yellow belt. So I'm going to make sure that students know that this is something they're working hard for. Once you get your yellow belt, you're now qualified to go to leadership. You can't do it before that. So now I'm doing the yellow belt test. I go, hey, man, I got to congratulate all the yellow belts. Big day for you. Not only did you get your yellow belt, but now you have been nominated to join our leadership program. Follow the PGs. I have a video online. If you go to the Rainmaker section of the vault, I have the PG 123s, the same sort of text or same sort of speech that I just gave you fast. It's a little bit longer, but that is recorded. Leadership upgrade when they ask. So if I have a student who's a white belt and mom comes in and goes, hey, you know, my son's been here for quite a while. I know some kids with the black belts, or I mean, not black belts, the black uniforms after class, the class seems a little bit different. Well, that's a leadership class. Well, how does my son get into that? So we're going to talk about it right then and there. If they ask any questions about that, you don't have to set an appointment. Just start talking about your leadership program. You probably can do an upgrade on the spot. Does anyone have any questions on the first 90 days? I know I talked fast. That was a half-hour systems. I wanted to give you the ideas. Your system and my system may differ. The important thing is you have a system. So when you're training your staff, you tell your staff, you know, the first 90 days is critical. We've got to keep students the first 90 days, and this is how we do that. So now they have a manual, and this is our system for making sure our students stay at least for the first 90 days, which happens to be when most students quit, is in the first 90 days. Any questions, remarks?
Awesome.
Okay, we have one awesome. Thank you. A lot of people on there. I got Zach Siokas must be out in the weather. I see the sky. Either that or he's passed out on the sidewalk. All right. Good to see everyone. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'll put the recording up in about a half hour.
Awesome.
I know.
Thanks, sir.
That's it. Just took 2 breaths.